In this series, I've covered the highest end versions of the Ernie Ball Music Man Eddie Van Halen line of guitars and its spin-offs, and now it's time to cover the more affordable version of this guitar and compare it to its older siblings. This is the AX20 made by Sterling by Music Man with a limited Rockstar energy drink graphic. And it hasn't happened yet, but when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll be giving this guitar to one of you. I'm Thom Tran, and this is the story behind the strings. For our returning viewers, yes, I'm in a new studio. Again, it doesn't rain a lot in Southern California, but when it does, it's a mess. And it started leaking in the old studio and it destroyed a hard drive. So, yay. So here we are in a new studio. Now, in the words of the great Jeff Goldblum, it's my birthday! Or at least it was a couple of days ago by the time this episode drops. And even though we haven't hit the 5,000 subscriber mark yet, when we do, I'll be giving one of you this Sterling AX20 by Music Man with this limited edition Rockstar energy drink graphic. So giddy up and subscribe to the channel and tell your friends to do the same. Please like the episode, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel because when I do hit 5,000 or more subscribers, I'm giving this guitar away. Details are going to be at the end of this video. So let's get started, as we always do, with the specs on this little shredder. This is the AX20 made by Sterling by Music Man. That's the whole name, but going forward, I'm just going to call it the AX20. In addition to these specs, we're going to compare and contrast it with the highest end version of the Ernie Ball Music Man Axis guitars. I'm not going to compare it to the EVH because it's just closer to the Axis Super Sport model, given that that is an offshoot of the Axis, which itself is an offshoot of the EVH. If there are any differences between this promo version of the AX20 and the stock version, I'll mention, but assume that they're mostly the same. But if for some reason you want an episode comparing the AX20 to the EVH, let me know in the comments below. Now, the AX20 was made in China while the Super Sport is assembled in Ernie Ball's factory in San Luis Obispo, California. There were actually several different Rockstar graphics made, some more black,
none more black,
some more yellow, and some with a hint of red. But the stock models came in various flavors too, including amber, purple, and I've seen black and white models as well. The Super Sport also came in an assortment of colors with a flame or quilt top. Both guitars have basswood bodies in the Axis or EVH style body type, but the AX20 has a maple veneer top while the Axis model has a maple top. They both have vintage style string-through hardtail bridges, no Floyd Rose trems here, although the Super Sport will give you the option of a Music Man vintage tremolo. They both have a pair of humbuckers in the neck and bridge positions. The Axis Super Sport comes stock with a set of custom DiMarzios. The standard non-Rockstar painted AX20 has a set of Sterling A5 Zebra pickups. And I did see some info that said the Rockstar version also has Sterling's A5 pickups, just not the Zebra set. They're all black. Now, a weird thing I noticed while I was doing research, I saw listings that describe the AX20 as having a set of, quote, Sterling dual high output Zwei humbuckers. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've never heard of that brand, and I assume they're made overseas, but upon doing further research into the word Zwei, it shows up on a bunch of German guitar websites, and according to Google Translate, Zwei just means two in German, as in it has two humbuckers. And when I read this, my head exploded a little bit. But if you know anything about them, or if my German totally sucks, just let me know in the comments below. They both have a 5-way selector switch near the bridge and the tone and volume knob. The Super Sport has a 500K ohm pot, while I couldn't find the specs on the AX20, I'm assuming it's whatever they had on the shelf. But they both have a comfort cut on the back and Ernie Ball Music Man's 5-bolt neck joint. Both guitars have a 25.5-inch scale and 22 medium frets, although the Axis Super Sport has stainless steel frets and the AX20 does not. They both have an asymmetric neck profile with a 10-inch radius. The AX20 has a maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard, while the Axis Super Sport can have a roasted maple neck with a maple fingerboard. And they both have the patented Ernie Ball Music Man 4x2 tuner setup. The AX20 comes with chrome locking tuners, and the Super Sport features Schaller MD6 IND locking tuners with pearl buttons. All of these models are readily available online, in retail stores, or on the third-party market. It is, not difficult to find one. Even these special graphic models, like in case you're a really big fan of energy drinks. Both the Rockstar graphic and the stock models of the Sterling AX20 range anywhere from $200 to as much as $600 for pieces shipping from overseas, while the Axis Super Sport, being the more premium of the two, sells in the range of between $1,300 on the used market up to $3,000 brand new or more for the Ball Family Reserve variants. So if you want to add one to your collection, you should have no problems finding one. And remember, when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll be giving one of you this Sterling AX20. So share this video and channel with your friends. We have covered the history of the Axis and OLP models ad nauseum in past episodes, and if you want to check those out, the links will be up here or in the show notes. But real quick, it was an Eddie Van Halen guitar, then it was called the Axis, and then they made a cheaper model. That's the TLDR, but watch the other videos for the details. So where does the Sterling model fall in the timeline? As we covered in the last episode, in the late 1990s, a company called OLP, or Officially Licensed Products, was established by Hanser Holdings International, not Ernie Ball Music Man, to offer licensed, affordable, overseas-built alternatives to the high-end Ernie Ball Music Man instruments. Some people loved them, and some people were ambivalent. But they were good as an entry-level offer to the Ernie Ball Music Man brand. However, the quality control over the OLP models was questionable. It was a hit or miss situation. Personally, I remember the real difference for me being the neck joint, the heel. The heel of the OLP was uncomfortable for some reason. I didn't like it, as opposed to the higher-end Ernie Ball Music Mans, which just felt different and good for some reason. Anyway, around 2009, Ernie Ball Music Man started licensing the Sterling by Music Man line of guitars to Praxis Musical Instruments, who then started making the entry-level guitars. Since then, and as of early 2024, they've continued to make the more affordable line of familiar instruments like the Valentine, the Majesty, and of course the Axis, in addition to other models including the Stingray basses and Cutlass electric guitars. As for this specific Rockstar graphic and the ones like it, there isn't much information about these because they weren't offered directly from Sterling by Music Man for retail purchase. Not that I could find. One anecdote stated that a convenience store owner was given one of these by the energy drink maker as a prize for selling so much of the product. So it seems like these were just promotional items given to distributors and sellers of the drink. If that's wrong or you have more information about that, please let me know in the comments below. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I bought this specifically to give it away. I mean, I wanted to do an episode about it, but between my EVH models and the Axis, I have zero need for this guitar. It's a good little entry-level piece or project guitar. If you don't like the graphic, you can strip it down to stripe it up. So yeah, I looked for the lowest priced item available, made an offer, and bought it just to do this episode, and I'm gonna give it to one of you. And there we are, the story behind the strings of the Sterling by Music Man AX20 Rockstar graphic guitar. Thank you to everyone that's already subscribed to the show, and even though we didn't hit the 5,000 subscriber goal yet, when we do, I'll be giving away this very guitar to one of you. It can be a beater, a striped project guitar, or a gift. What you do with it is up to you. To be entered to win, just subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on this video or any episode. And to help us along with that goal of giving away this guitar, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, and share it with your friends. If you have the means and want to support the show even more, you can check out my Patreon page where you can become a roadie, a guitar tech, or a hired gun. You'll get cool swag and shoutouts. My custom t-shirts, like this one, available at ThomTranShop.com. My stand-up comedy dates are available on my website at ThomTran.com. Don't forget to follow me on all the places like Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. There are links to everything below. Keep rocking, keep watching, and let the strings tell your story.